to start off Castlevania Bloodlines, we actually have 3 different codes that we're going to apply at the same time. This is the alternate music for the final upgrades, the expert mode code, and the unlock 9 lives option. So in order to do this, you need to set your BGM to 5, and then you change your sound effect to 73, which I'm comically zooming in because this takes a minute. And then once you have that, you're going to play them both, which I can't really show here because I'm using old footage, which didn't have the audio correct. And then you just wait for it to go back to this screen after you press start, and then you do the contra code up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A on original hardware, Y on NSO, and then you'll hear a certain sound letting you know you did it correct. Then when you go into your options menu, you'll see that you have access to expert mode. You can raise your lives all the way up to 9 instead of just stopping at 5. And then it should do the music code, but I can't really prove that within this recording chunk. You can also access easier continues, so when you run out of lives, reset the console. If you're on NSO, you'll just open up this menu, go to reset game and do that. It treats it the same way. But then you can continue where you left off with 2 continues at roughly the same level. This game also has password level select, similar to other games. So you move around with the D-pad or the joystick on NSO. You'll cycle through your options with A on NSO, Y or C on original hardware, and then you apply with Y on NSO and A on original hardware. This code will take you to stage 2. This code will take you to stage 3. This code will take you to stage 4. This code will take you to stage 5. And this code will take you to stage 6. There are also more codes for the expert mode in the link I provide in the description. For this next sheet, you gotta be fast to input it. Once you get to this menu, you're gonna hover over options. And when you open up options, you're gonna press up, down, A, down, B, up, A. On NSO, on the original hardware, it's C instead of A. And then press start to go back to the main menu. Enter the sound test, but you're just going to press start to leave it again. And then you'll go back to the options menu and the credits should now be present. So options up, down, A, down, B, up, A, start, sound test, and then options. And I did it wrong. So here I'm going to do it, and I should actually do it right this time. And there we go. So now you just can increase the number of lives you have, or if you want to make the game harder for whatever reason, you can just go all the way down to 1 life. There are 3 main cheats we can do in Altered Beast. I've shown one of them before, where you hold B, and if you press start, you'll get the level select menu. You'll be able to change which level you're on with round. You can change the difficulty from normal to hard to hardest. And you can increase your HP or decrease it, which for some reason, you hold right, it goes up, and then if you go left, it goes down. Very weird. And you can also decrease the number of lives you have and increase them up to 5.
Rise from your grave.
So now we get to start from the 5th level instead of having to play all the way through the game again. Now, you can also control which beasts you get from each level. Usually it's predetermined, so if you hold A, B, and C down and left, and then you press start, well, I had it, and then it disappeared. A, B, and C, down and left, and then press start. You can control which beast you get. So ordinarily, this is the default layout. So in round 1, you get wolf, 2, you get dragon, 3, you get bear, 4, you get tiger, 5, you get wolf again. You can change it so you can do whatever you want. You could do all dragons. And do all wolves, do all bears, do all tigers, do whatever you want, or pick whichever one is going to make the level easier or harder. Makes the game a lot more interesting or gives you a bit more out of the game. And I believe this is able to be used within conjunction of that other code I just used. I believe I'm still on level 5 here. And I definitely have the increased health and lives, so yeah, this is definitely it. My last trick isn't so much a cheat as much as it is a little Easter egg thing. If you hold A and Y on NSO, A and C on original hardware, up and right, and then you press start. So we're gonna have to go back to this. You'll pull up the sound test, so you can just listen to all the music and sound effects within the game if you want. There are quite a few codes for Ghouls and Ghosts for the Genesis, however, it requires a bit of finagling to get to work. So for starters, I'm gonna reset the game again. And then we're going to start with debug mode because that gives us some very interesting things. On this screen, you need to press A 4 times and then press up, down, left, right. You should hear a chime if you did it right, but sometimes you have to do it when the bat is falling, which makes it a pain. Okay, of course it does it right whenever I do that. That's fine. So now when you press start, it'll start like normal. However, we can do some fancy things in the pause menu. So first things first, if you pause and then you press A, you can move the game 1 frame at a time. So you can be more precise with your actions. If you hold B, you can run it in slow-mo. If you pause, press A, and then unpause, you're invincible. And then you can repause it and then run it in slow-mo if you really wanted to, but there really isn't a whole lot of a reason whenever literally nothing can hurt you. This code is unable to be used, or at least I have not been able to get it to work with the level select code. If somebody could help out the community in the comments, that would be fantastic. The next one is the level select. So for this, we're not going to press the A 4 times, we're just going to go up, down, left, right, and repeatedly do that until we hear the second jingle. And then we're going to press start. And depending on, and I'm actually going to create a restore point here because little trick for you, and also for while I'm recording this, the code is entered. So if you want to just set this here so that it's easier to come back to, this is the way to do it. So the first one is just the execution palace. If you press just start, it'll take you there, which should just be level 1. Now, if you hold A on original hardware, Y on NSO, it'll take you to the floating island, which you can see my guy is standing before it. We progress through this very similar to the Castlevania maps. If you press up and start, which you have to make sure you start on 2 before you press an up or down. Like, you need to make sure that the letter will go to the one you're trying to do. But if you hold up and start, it'll take you to the Village of Decay. You're going to press up and Y on NSO, but up and A on original hardware to get to the Town of Fire, and then press start. Alright, next to get to Baron Rankle's Tower, you're going to start on options, press down, and then press start. For the Horrible Face Mountain, you're going to press down, Y on NSO, A on original hardware, and then press start. Alright, next is the Crystal Forest, where you hold left and then press start. And the Ice Slopes, where you hold left, Y on NSO, A on original hardware. Then press start. Then we have beginning of the castle by holding right and start. We have middle of the castle by holding right, Y on NSO, A on original hardware, and then start. And then to go right to the final boss, you hold down, right, which I'm going to have to do with the joystick, down and right, and then start. And this will bring you right to the final boss, Loki. Now my last cheat is less of a cheat and more of just a little fun Easter egg they put in here. If you go to the options menu, you set the music select to 26 and sound effects to 56. I recommend you go all the way to the top for this so you don't accidentally change them while you do this. You hold down and left, and then you're going to hold A, B, C, A, B, and Y on NSO, and then press start. And you are now in the Japanese version. That is all for this one. Happy haunting.